Hello and welcome to a long-awaited back again episode of These Corona Times. You are tuned in with your girl Tiffany and Dr. Simone.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is it. It is
That
just us.
It's just us tonight.
Did we decide on the title for this? I put "We're back."
We're back.
Is that
We're
good?
back. That's it. And we are back. We appreciate you all who are still watching us for, staying around.
I still get updates that we have like one new
One or two. Yeah.
or whatever.
I hope we are still, gaining new followers, new watchers, new listeners, because we are out there on the Spotify's and the Apple Musics of the world, the Anchor podcast, the YouTube, the Facebook, wherever you can find us. So we are still out there. But as we said in our last episode, which I think is episode 51, I think
this is 51, isn't it? No, 51. Wait, this is 52. This is 52.
Okay, so if you listen to episode 51, we said that we were going on maternity leave.
We did.
And we did not know we would be back because, babies do what they want to do. We can't control them. So this is us coming back. We were sitting around poloing, talking to each other. We were like, you know what?
Let's just do it.
Let's just record. Let's just get back,
Yes, and of course we miss our friend Brandon, but he's taking a hiatus for now.
Yes.
And so we just wanted to just continue and do our thing because we love doing this. So
it's gonna be a shame because who will ever orient us?
Nobody orients.
There's no one to orient. Brenda is not here, so we miss you, friend.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, like you were saying, Tiff, we have a catalog.
Yeah,
52 episodes. So if you haven't watched those, please go back and watch.
Yeah, and if watching is too hard, you can listen. You don't have to look at us. You can just listen to it. That's cool too. That's cool. So in a roundabout way, let me go back and say thank you for the support. We appreciate you all. And like I said, if you were watching with us regularly and were riding this maternity break with us, we appreciate that too. And we don't know if we'll be back on a regular basis, but we're here for the time being.
The intention is to be consistent, but life happens.
It does
happen. And I mean, Tiff knows I have a lot of grandiose plans about what I can do, about what I'm going to do. Like, yeah, I can do this and that. And I'm like, ooh, no, go sit down.
And what actually happens.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's my part, ma'am. What else we got? Let me see.
My bad. Are we on to the recap?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's been a long time.
I don't do self-care anymore.
I was about to say, what is that? I haven't. My self-care was filming and recording and editing, and I haven't done any of that in like 2 months. So yeah.
I feel this feels like self-care because usually I was telling Tiff earlier that, of course, when you have a newborn that you don't sleep as much, but now we are more okay. We are functioning better with less sleep. Like able to, because usually at this hour I would just be, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd be in delirious. But this is good. So this is self-care because it's quiet, I'm by myself, and this is fun. So
we are keeping the late hours. These are more Tiffany hours and less Simone hours, although she used to keep these hours with me back in the day. But no longer. Having children will do that for you. It will make you keep regular normal people hours. So, let's see. I'll say today I had some self-care. I spent some time with the family. Walked around the farm into the corn patch and petted animals, things I wouldn't normally do. Because I don't touch animals. We don't do that.
I don't know why.
I'm not an animal person. But hanging out with my brother and his daughter and my nephew, it's always a good time when I can be with the family. So that's been the self-care for me, it's spending time with them, taking breaks from work, because we're not supposed to work 24/7. So just taking a break and being with the family has been good self-care.
Nice. I will say that I went to, if y'all have watched our show for a while, then you know Alex and Olivia Victor, who we've had on twice, and they've been having a Bible study group they've been doing throughout the pandemic, and me and my husband, um, we joined that today on Zoom, and that was really, really, really great. So I don't know if I say that self-care, but it was just different. And it was something I needed because Zoom church, like the traditional, I don't know if you can call it the way we've been doing church, via it's just feeling a little for me. So it was nice, a nice change.
We need to just have an episode about that because that's a whole conversation in
Yeah.
itself. So maybe that could be one we put on the docket coming up.
I'm
But
kind of hanging there with y'all Zoom church, but I'm like, at my limit.
I know, I understand. But since you mentioned the Victors, I will say I think this month was their anniversary month. I think earlier in the month of October they had an anniversary. It's been 2,000 years since they've been together.
2,000 years.
Yes.
And I think that when they tell you how long they've been married, they don't separate the dating from the married. So I don't know how long they've been married. They're just like, we've been together for it's in the
20-something years, I think. Like, yeah. I was but a child. I attended their wedding as just a child, a mere child.
I was not invited to the wedding. I tell them every year when I wish them happy anniversary, I'm like, you didn't invite me.
You didn't invite me.
But it's okay.
Wow. We're sorry. We congratulated you and shaded you all at the same time. We apologize.
So we talked about where we've been. We always acknowledge somebody or something. Usually it's a person of color, but I think this month we are going to just acknowledge that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And that's just really important because, breast cancer is, it's something that, takes the lives of many, many women. And so we want to spread awareness about breast cancer and just acknowledge especially during this time, like acknowledging the doctors and nurses and people who treat cancer, particularly breast cancer. Let's see. I always want to pull out some stats.
Okay.
Yes.
Come on, doctor, with the statistics.
I'm reading. Among women younger than 45, breast cancer incidence is higher among African American women than white women. Younger women in general and younger African American women in particular are more likely to present with the triple negative subtype of the disease. I have a relative who I think was diagnosed with a triple negative in UK, but this is another one to read. African American women have a 31% breast cancer mortality rate, the highest of any U.S. racial ethnic group. So just again, breast cancer is, something you don't want anybody to have. And there's just a disproportionate impact among women of color, particularly Black women. So what is it, age 40? Is that when you're supposed to get your mammogram?
I thought it was 45, but I think they're lowering it to age 40.
Yeah. And I don't know how that works, but if you've had it in your family, if there's history, I wonder if you can even get tested early or get your mammogram early if you wanted to. Or would you have to? I don't even know how that works, but I could see myself saying, you know what? Because we're close to 40.
Yes, we are, Simone.
Dangerously close. Dangerously
right around the corner for some of us.
Dangerously close. And that makes me want to ask early.
Yeah.
Like, can I do some early preventative tests or, screening?
Yeah, I have it's not like a first or second cousin, but kind of a distant cousin who passed from breast cancer when I was younger. And her daughter, who's around my age, also had cancer. And I believe her daughter has also had cancer. And I'm not sure if it's the same one, so I don't want to misquote. But I will say that I think it is important. Her daughter's young. I think her daughter's in her maybe late teens, early 20s. So I will say it is important to ask and is important to communicate that history as much as you know of it to your doctors. And, when you were talking about African-American women being the ones who this happens to us disproportionately, I wonder if I'm sure it's a combination of things: access to care, knowledge of your breasts, because that's one thing too, is like, I don't, not many, I'm gonna say not many, but being taught to do self-examinations on your breasts and pay attention to when you feel differences. A lot of times we're taught to work through pain. So, if it is hurting or feels uncomfortable, we may not mention it until it's really, really bad. Which oftentimes if your breasts are like burning or something like that, then it might be at a stage where it's significant. So pay attention to those signs. And as a doctor once recently told me, know your breasts and know them well. So, that's one way to indicate when you're having changes.
Yeah. I'm also reading here. We should put this website up. It says, given that African American communities face both high exposure and high risk, it's crucial that the cosmetic industry reform to ensure that cosmetic products, particularly those targeting these vulnerable communities, are made with safe ingredients. And then above that, it talks about all these different products: fragrances, hair relaxers, nail polishes, skin lighteners. Things to watch out for that increase risk for African American women. So this is good information. So we could post this. But speaking to that, just the idea in general of paying attention to your body and how we are so likely, we have pains and discomforts, and a lot of times we just blow it off and don't check in. And I definitely, not with breast cancer, but with my pregnancy, I definitely had a pretty major health scare. And I'm not blaming myself for it, but I think had I listened to my body a little bit better, there were symptoms I was having that I did not heed. I didn't tell the doctor. I
Tell
just
no one.
yeah, I was just like, it's just because I'm pregnant.
I would have told you to go to the doctor.
I was going every week.
But you
Every
wasn't,
week, I was just
telling
like,
him.
no, I wasn't. So, gosh, we probably should have talked about this earlier. But anyway, so I'll just do it now. This is random. So my son was born September the 13th. He was due on September the
7th?
8th.
9th?
The 8th.
Yeah.
8th. He came on the 13th. Everything was fine. And then I started having trouble breathing. I couldn't breathe. And I ignored it the first time. And then I prayed and I was like, Lord, please help me to breathe. I don't know what's going on. Felt a little bit better. Then it came back. And long story short, I had to go back to the hospital, and they found fluid where there should not have been fluid. And inside, it was like around my lungs, and a very, very high blood pressure. And it was really, really scary. And I think that sometimes when you are healthy, because I've never had any health issues, I feel like I had good care, but they cycle you out in and out of the doctor. Like, okay, you have any questions? No, okay, goodbye. I'm advanced maternal age, but I didn't have any health challenges. So I just think there were some things that I was missing, like some symptoms I was having I didn't check in with. So I think just in general, listen to your body, period. Listen to if there's something that's not normal and you feel like something's wrong, or you're not sure, just ask, just check in. Because I feel like had I done that, then maybe I wouldn't have had to go back to the hospital and be away from my family for what felt like forever. But I'm okay, thank God. And it's nothing but God that brought me out of that for sure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The first time when you feel like you couldn't breathe, did Sean know about it?
Yeah, he did. I was
Okay,
like,
I'm gonna have some words for Sean too when this is over with, because I'm gonna need one of y'all to say something in passing, like, "Hey, by the way, I can't breathe. Struggling."
Nobody talks about after pregnancy, some of the after postpartum stuff that can happen. They talk about your bleeding, you start bleeding more heavily, but they don't talk about like breathing and blood pressure. Had no idea that was even a thing.
Sidebar, I just realized that this is really like, I really feel Brandon not being here because we can have this conversation about breast and pregnancy. It's a very open discussion.
And in honor of breast cancer awareness month, I made breastfeed on camera because my child is he's gonna wake up soon.
You might wake up.
Like my milk drop, guys. If you're a breastfeeding person, then you know what the milk drop is. So any minute now, it could happen.
Yeah, this has been our whole life for like the last month. It's like, you want to record? No, I'm feeding the baby right now. I can't.
So then I'll be like this.
Yes.
Anyway, we got all off.
We got left. We're sorry.
Yes.
We need to orient. We need to orient. Okay. So
everybody orients like Brandon. We can try our best.
We'll do our best to make it concise and swift. But we've been away. That's no secret. We've been away. A lot has happened. No way we can cover it all because we've been gone for about 6 weeks or so. So we're not going to do that. What we're going to try to do is just hop in and catch up on things that have happened within the last couple of weeks. Talk about some things going on with the vaccines, talk about some things that are happening in pop culture, and talk about our favorite show, which is coming back on soon, All American. So that's going to be our episode for today. Just kind of cover a myriad of things. And, we might end up talking about breastfeeding if Cairo comes out to play. So
questions about breastfeeding, please let me know.
Yes.
I'm happy to talk about it and to demonstrate. Just like, I'm not going to demonstrate.
Not going to demonstrate. Do you want to talk about our plans for the future? Or we want to save it to the end.
We can save it until the end. I know we already said we're not sure about our consistency, but there'll be something because we had plans before the maternity leave.
Yes.
Whatever, we had plans, so we've been thinking.
Yeah, we have things on the horizon. It's just when we can get together to record those things and bring them to you is when we'll do that. So yes.
Oh, also we didn't mention this, that Tiffany and Joel came down here to visit, and
yes,
it was awesome, and it was so good to see them.
Yes, it was great. It's a very long drive, but it was worth it. We got to hang out, got to see the babies, got to see Sean. We got to experience some food in Concord together.
Word.
Concord. We went to Concord. So that was cool. And like I said, it wasn't enough time, but it was a good amount of time. And I know that our visits are far and few in between because you guys probably won't be back because of stinky COVID. I probably won't see you all again until next year. Whether it's here.
Yeah. It's looking like it's going to be about April.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which will be before we know it.
Yeah, it truly will. It was just a blink of an eye. And we might set up a standard appointment to just come see y'all in the fall because we really enjoyed the trip itself, like just getting to see another place. And we did not make it to Charlotte at all. We tried, but we did not get there.
We were literally 15 minutes away.
We were so close. We did not get to Charlotte at all. So, hopefully come back. There's the other stuff we can see. And then hopefully we'll have some more flexibility to go out and do things.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And y'all can stay with us since we will be moving out of this apartment. I'm not going to show y'all the chaos going on back here. There's boxes everywhere because we are in the process of moving.
We
like to do lots of things at once in our family. We like to be overwhelmed and have everything happen at once.
This is what Simone calls active chaos. She doesn't mind it. She likes it. I'd be freaking out right now, but she's okay.
I think we did this anyway.
She's like, whose idea was this? Oh, it was mine. My bad.
I thought we had more time, but thank God.
It's come up on you quick though, because I remember, we were just talking about you all getting the house, and now it's almost time for y'all to move.
It's finished. I didn't know. I thought it would be like 2022.
Yeah. Well, you know why they finished so fast? You know
Why?
why? Because Sean drove past every day.
Every
He made
day.
direct eye contact with the builders.
Listen, Sean, he went to the doc, no, not to the doctor. He went to the store. It took him a little bit longer than I thought it would. This is
Mhm.
like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, hey, he said, yeah, I went by the house because I wanted to
Told
see
you.
what it looked like at night.
God.
Wait, he showed me a picture of it at night. I was like, that's nice.
Listen to me. Sean is ready. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if he was already putting boxes in the house. Unbeknownst to you, I'm just sliding boxes in one box.
Right. Right. Put them in the garage and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Sean, we haven't even closed yet.
We
It's
haven't
not,
even closed.
we haven't closed on the house. He's so
Hang
funny.
in there.
He's ready though. He does. He drives over. He looks at it. I'm like, which one is it?
He
Just tell
already
me
knows.
when you're ready.
He
Tell me
probably
when
knows how many bricks are on the house. He been counting them
you're
and everything.
He might. So funny. All right. So I guess we're on to our topic now.
Yes.
And this is something that has been going on. I mean, we talked about this before we left, that we wanted to discuss this vaccine divide
Mhm.
because it was getting really bad and it's still really bad. So there's just this idea of it's no longer um oh, you should think about getting the vaccine. It's like the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. And there's like this divide and this what's the word? Like I don't know, this nastiness
Yeah.
and dissension
Yeah.
uh, among people who are vaccinated versus not. And I'm just like, wait, do we need this? Is this helpful?
Mhm. Since we've been away, I believe the FDA, what do they do? Approve, or they like gave their sign out seal of approval for the vaccines. And
Hmm.
since then, many places have begun mandating those. And,
Hmm.
I'm not mad at them because I think the opposition to that, or the other side of not mandating, is you put your businesses at risk, right?
Hmm.
So if your employees are not testing regularly or not are not vaccinated, then of course they get sick, they can give it to multiple employees, and then you all be closed down. And I
Hmm.
get the sense that nobody wants to go into another shutdown. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
nobody at all. So now that these vaccines have become mandated for some, I mean, I know a lot of people who are being forced to choose now. And I don't know if they want more time. I don't know if they just want to be able to make the decision on their own. And I still say you can make the decision on your own, even if your workplace is mandating it. I mean, you can decide not to work there anymore if you don't like their
Hmm.
mandates.
Yeah.
Um, but I do see like we're having what's been bothering me the most is I've been seeing a lot of these school PTA meetings that just have been erupting into full on arguments, yelling matches of people getting escorted to their cars after meetings because unvaccinated people are battling against vaccinated people. And I'm not trying to say the unvaccinated are bullies or whatever, but it's just really taking shape. Like there's just this whole movement of like masks versus no masks, like for real, vax versus unvax, like really, really like just to the point of high levels of anytime a police officer has to escort you to your vehicle after a PTA meeting.
A PTA meeting.
I ain't y'all just talking about bake sales and like school board meetings. Like why are we fighting? Why are we
I
fighting?
think it's just a big mix. It's no longer, it's not just about health anymore. There's politics and patriotism and
Mm-hmm.
far left and far all this stuff mixed into it when it shouldn't be. And
Yeah.
it's just causing people to not be able to think rationally. And I mean, y'all know we're vaccinated, and that was something that we chose to do. We took our time. Like when it first became available, we weren't running down there to get vaccinated. It took us a while because it does make sense that it's something you put into your body. You want to take time to know what it is. But some people need more time. I don't understand it, but I don't like the divisiveness, and I really don't um like the name call. There's a is it a football? No, I don't do sports. Kyrie Irving, have you heard about
he's a
him?
basketball player.
Yes, I think and another thing is I haven't been watching the news, but he's about to lose his position on the basketball team or whatever because he decided not to get vaccinated or something of that nature.
He's getting fined a lot. I forgot the amount, but he's getting fined every time he misses a game, I believe, somewhere in the thousands of amounts of dollars for missing the game. And I mean, I'm sure the rationale is the same as with other things, like you don't want your team to have to forfeit because all your players are sick, so you don't want to lose money.
Right.
And I think he's saying he doesn't disagree with the vaccine; he just wants it to be his choice.
Right.
Of whether or not he gets it and when he gets it or not. And I don't know I haven't been keeping up to date on what all the NBA logistics or rules are or whatever, but I know like in my workplace, they're asking if you're not vaccinated. They're not mandating it, but they're saying if you're not, they are asking that you get tested every 2 weeks. As long for the length of time that you're not vaccinated. And that again helps with the positivity and of course staying home when you get sick, letting others around you know when you've been infected, things of that nature. So it's like if you're not gonna do the vaccination, you gotta at least do the other thing, which is at least commit to voluntary testing.
So this is my question though. Where is the line between keeping your workplace safe and making the unvaccinated so uncomfortable that they go ahead and just do it? Like I get I understand like, okay, if you're not going to get vaccinated, then you have to do the testing. But what is every 2 weeks? Where do I get that from?
I don't know.
It's just
some people are saying every week. Some people are saying every week.
It's just like, are you doing that to just make them so uncomfortable? Because I've had one test when I was in the hospital and it was terrible.
Yes, it was.
There's no way I could imagine submitting to that once a week or every, like it would, I mean, I hated it. You know
Maybe
what I mean?
that's the plan though.
I was like, are you trying to make them so uncomfortable that they just do it?
Maybe that's
Because I think it's not, I get it, but I think I have some discomfort with that because it's like, I feel like people should have a choice to be able to do what they want to do. And there's consequences to that. You may not be able to work at, this place. But I don't like for example, with this Kyrie Irving, and not just him, but others too, the name calling, calling people stupid, saying, oh, well, you shouldn't be able to get medical care. That's not how you get people to do what you want them to do.
Yeah. I cannot be upset with people for wanting to take their time with this thing. And maybe that's a year. I don't know. I mean, if they've been getting by thus far and they haven't been sick, they may not feel like if it hasn't touched you personally, you may not feel like COVID's a big thing, So you never know what somebody's mindset is or their approach on this. So I think the solemn thing to do would be to give everybody the space to make their own decisions. And of course, I would love for everybody to be vaccinated, but maybe that's, we shouldn't force that on anybody.
Right. Now, what you're not going to do is not get vaccinated and not want to wear your mask. Yeah. That's what we're not going to do. Okay. Now, please, just take that thin little fabric and put it around your ear and just wear it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, don't argue about that, please. That I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because the research clearly shows that really cuts down on spreading it. I think I hear my child.
He might make an appearance.
Pause.
We'll have to take it as we go, okay, and just see what happens.
And now breastfeeding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I hear gulping.
Cairo B is here.
Anyway.
We were talking about vaccinations. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I don't like the animosity. Now this is what I was gonna say. What I don't like, what doesn't make sense to me is if you don't get vaccinated and you lose your job or what have you, like you lose stuff for a
Mhm.
vaccine that you end up getting anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, is your stance that you will never get it?
Yeah.
Like never?
Yeah.
But I mean, because my thought is you're gonna get it eventually, but
Mhm.
by then, what will you have lost?
Well, the job, same with some would say with the housing market, the job is I guess a buyer's market right now. Like the job market is there's this disproportionate claims that nobody's working, everybody's hiring. But there's also a lot of people out here who have been trying to get jobs and can't get them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that. When people are
Are
saying,
they not getting jobs because they're not vaccinated?
I don't know. They said that like they've been applying to places and haven't been, getting a return on those applications, but everybody seems to be hiring right now and seems to be offering some places are offering really decent pay, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
no jobs. Nobody wants to work.
That's a whole nother topic too, because then
Yeah.
that talks about like the checks that people have been getting and all of that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have to do better. I don't want to, people are, speaking so poorly about the unvaccinated that people are losing friends. Like you said, people are getting in fights. I know we had, at the beginning of the school year, we had a school board meeting. It was on Zoom though.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided that the individual schools would make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple people pipe up talking about, well, I got my kids the shot so they wouldn't have to wear masks,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. Um, and it got kind of spicy. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
My concern is unvaccinated or not, what's the problem with wearing masks in school? The kids, I know it sucks. I mean, as
Well,
an adult, I don't want to do it all the time. But think about all the things we have been kept from, like the numbers for the flu have been down. Folks are getting, it's that time of year where the weather changes, people are catching colds and such. Like, I haven't had to deal with colds as much. Like, just by wearing my mask, it's not as if, I'm strapping it to your face all along, you can never take it off. I mean, it's a minor change. And I think about people who are like in Asia who wear masks
they've
all
been
the time.
doing this.
They've
They've
been
been doing this.
this. And it's
Or the
like,
people who are surgeons, they in there, they have their coverings and masks and stuff. It's
mhm.
like,
Yeah,
and the kids don't really, this is my bias. I just don't see the kids. The kids I'm around, they don't care. If the parents are doing it,
yeah,
they get to be with their friends, they
yeah,
don't care. It's fine.
yeah. It's
Now, I know some people have asthma or maybe other complications that might make it difficult for them to keep a mask on. I get that. But I think more times than not, it's really not a big deal if you don't make it a big deal.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. And I personally really like wearing my mask because then I can make my facial expressions underneath it and nobody has to see.
Yeah, very true.
When I'm giving you a strange look, no one has to see it. I can
No
just
one
keep
needs
wearing
to
my
know.
mask. Yeah.
No one needs to know.
No one needs to know about it. So I hope this gets better. And I don't know. I'm kind of out of the loop on what's happening here in Kentucky as far as COVID. I haven't been watching the news because it's been just sadness. And if it's not COVID, it's death. It's shootings, it's killings, and I just don't want to. Just protecting my peace, I guess. So I'm not watching the news as much as I used to. Um, and I've been kind of now I won't say turning a blind eye, but I just haven't been like tuning in as
Mhm.
much to it. But I do know that we're still wearing masks when and where we can. In my house personally, we do our best when we go outside this house to try to be masked and protected. I know my immediate family is still masked and protected.
Mhm.
Um, getting most of us get ready to get our booster shots. My grandmother's already had hers. My mom's having hers tomorrow. I think I'm not eligible till like next month, so I'm planning to get mine. And I guess at the end of the day, with this the discussion of vaxxed or not, masked or not, um, I think you want to try to do what you can to protect your family.
Absolutely, 100%. Um, and our son at school, they did decide to, have the mask.
Mhm.
So he wears his mask every day. His teacher, we love her, and she is a stickler for the mask. So, I mean, we feel, if he were to get sick, it wouldn't be because, you know, um, we've been trying to do the right thing, and
Mm,
at school, trying to do the right thing. So if he got sick, we wouldn't even be upset because we know that they're trying their best to keep
yeah.
everybody safe. Um, but yeah, so now you talked about the booster, but what about the shots for the 5 to 11? Because it's already approved for the 12, right?
Mhm.
12.
12 to 17 or something like that could get them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a dog in this fight. I think kids have to get shots for school all the time. I don't see anything wrong with it as long as it's safe for them. I
Hmm.
hope that when it's time, my cousins, nieces, nephews, guy kids, all those who fit in that category can get it if their parents want for them to have it. Um, I think it should be the parent's decision. I don't think it should be mandated for them.
Hmm. Hmm. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I would prefer not to have Caden get the vaccine.
Mhm.
Um, but we've already talked to his doctor about it. His doctors have, she has a couple kids. One of her kids has already gotten, um, 'cause one of her kids is 12. So she, gave her kid the vaccine, and she explained to me her rationale and
Mhm.
all that. So we're doing our own research, as people say. And, you know, I would prefer not to, but at the same time, I think the benefits may outweigh the risk. It's just that, his body, their bodies are still developing.
Yeah.
Makes me kind of, scared to introduce something else. Because you're right, you already got a bunch of vaccines. You got all the vaccines. That's another thing too. If your kids already got all the vaccines, I
What's
don't want to say it
more?
like flippantly, like what's one more? I don't mean it
Yeah.
like that, but we're vaccine people. We do get vaccines.
Mhm. And these the children that have been getting COVID, from what I've heard, from folks I know closely that their kids have gotten it, they said their kids have been like, "I feel a little tired, but let's play." Like
Mhm.
their spirits are still really high. It's not really hitting them hard like it's hitting some of like it hit us before. But I am seeing now a trend of folks that are more our age and younger, like they're 20 to 30. So those are the folks that are getting hit real hard with it now, especially those who are unvaccinated of us,
Yeah.
um, who are not
Mhm.
doing so well. So
Right.
I'm of the mindset what's another shot added onto the list. But also I'm kind of feel like when we did it as adults, I don't think I'll be running up to put none of my kids in there first. Let me just wait a
No.
little bit. Let me give it a little time.
Yeah. Let me see the people and the rich and powerful get their kids vaccinated. Like, let me see what
Yeah.
y'all doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be guinea pig. Now I will say, and I know this is gonna sound very, very what is it, lemurish or sheepish of me, but I know people talk about like, their personal freedoms being infringed upon, and not being able to fly eventually if you don't have your vaccine, or needing um all that kind of stuff. I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
With it. Like, that's fine. Take my vaccine card, take my booster card. Yes, that's
Yeah.
fine. So I
Mhm.
can go around the world freely. I
Yeah.
don't have time to be stuck at home because I don't want to get the
I don't
vaccine.
want to do this again.
Mm-mm. You
Like,
have to chip us. If you have a cell phone, you know what I mean? You were already chipped.
yeah.
Like, none of that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If they want to find us,
They're
if
gonna
they
find you.
really want to find us, they
Yeah.
don't know where we are.
They're gonna
So I
find
don't
you.
care.
And if you don't want to be found, then you need to go back to an old flip phone. You need to stop using GPS. You need to stop using all these smart things in your house. All these things are tracking. They're tracking. They're designed to track your activities. It's so funny. We've been watching the Wu-Tang show here in my house,
Mhm.
and Joe was like on Facebook. He saw all these like ads for Wu-Tang stuff. And I was like, yeah, they're listening.
They're
They're
listening.
listening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All the
All
time.
the time. And if you
So,
don't like that, then you have to disconnect. But I don't know how you can. It's just all
mhm,
these things that um are technologies to help us. We've become so used to them and so tied to them. Like, I mean, it's everywhere. I have the watch, I have the iPad, I have the phone, I have the computer, I have the smart thing at home, I have the Apple TV. Like all these things that we appreciate um are also keeping track of us,
mhm.
you know?
Now let me ask you this, Tiff. When people say, "Oh, I need more research. I need to do more research," what are people reading? Like, do you think people at home reading research papers? I know I'm not. because I don't understand. Take me to the summary section. Take
Yeah.
me, you know what I'm saying? Like, what research are you doing after you listen, talk to doctors? Maybe you have read a couple things, but are you like legit every day looking for the new research findings? Are you looking at the like
Well,
when people say that I just need more information. What information do you need that you don't already have?
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you are on psych info, or not psych info, but you know what I mean, the medical journals.
Medline Plus or whatever.
Something tells me that that's not what people are doing. They're just, I don't know, listen. I think they're listening to all the information, misinformation, and all the myths, and I think that's getting all clouded because I know there's a lot of myths about what the vaccine will do to you,
Yeah. And I
and
mean,
all that's getting all,
and
you
it's
know.
there's a misconception that people say a lot that bothers me, that they say like if somebody is vaccinated but they still got COVID, or they're vaccinated but they passed away from COVID, it's like they're going, well, I thought you were supposed to, the vaccine is supposed to keep you from getting, it's not going to keep you from getting COVID.
Mm-mm. Mhm.
Can't prevent you from getting COVID. It's to make the effects of COVID lesser, give you a
Mhm.
better chance of beating COVID and not having to go into the hospital, not having to be on a ventilator, and
Mhm.
potentially not dying. It is not 100%. It just gives you a better chance, gives you a fighting chance. And
Plus, this is not the same COVID. We have a variant now, because that's what viruses do.
yeah,
It's not the same one we had, a year and what, March of 2020. It's not the same. We have the, what do we call it? The Delta, the Delta Extreme Plus.
Delta Extreme Plus.
So it's not, it's a variant. So,
There may be more variants. There may
yeah,
be more
absolutely.
variants.
Yeah.
But I just don't like folks taking that as like getting the shot is going to save you. It's not going to
Mhm.
keep you from dying. I mean, not going to keep you from totally getting COVID. It
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
lessens your chances of dying. So I don't
Mhm.
want folks to be like, well, if I don't get it, if I get it, I can still. There's a lot of factors. Like we put Colin Powell down here, as you know, he just passed away um, recently, and the headlines were Colin Powell dies of COVID complications. And that's some misinformation there, because Colin, not COVID. Colin has been vaccinated, had been vaccinated, but he also was immunocompromised. He had multiple myeloma. And when you, even if you are vaccinated, being immunocompromised, having underlying health conditions
Mhm.
can help, help COVID get on through there,
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
his case is like another case, but you need to have all the facts. Have
Mhm.
all the facts about it. There are things called breakthrough cases or breakout cases that happen
Mhm.
and occur. I know there was a doctor here at U of L who, he was vaccinated. He was a surgeon, but he got pneumonia, which complicates your chances and may cause death. So there's other things, but it's not like, you're all or nothing with this vaccination stuff. So it's
Yeah.
all this misinformation that we're getting out there. Plus the fact that some people, you got so many groups. Some people have had COVID and been fine. Some people have had COVID, been a little sick, but got
Mhm.
over it. Some people
Mhm.
have never had COVID. Some people have never known anybody that's had COVID. So we have so many different levels with this. I think people have their own, like, we haven't had COVID.
Mhm.
I still believe COVID is real because I know some people who have died from it.
Mhm.
Um, but you have all these different variations of folks who have experienced COVID, and they have their own thoughts about, how that has come to be, or how, if I haven't got it yet, I'm not gonna get it now.
Well, I think another thing is that confirmation bias is a scary thing,
Mm-hmm,
and it's just referring to when you only accept information that confirms what you already think.
mm-hmm,
So if you believe that you know um, even if you have the vaccine, that you're still going to die, then you're only going to pay attention to those cases like Colin Powell, even though there's so many other aspects to that
yeah,
case that you have to take into consideration. You know, if you had like typical saying, he's an older man, yet other health, severely immunocompromised. I mean, you know, that's not your I don't want to say that's not your typical, but that's the kind of case where you may be more likely to have somebody pass away.
Mhm.
Even though they have, taken the vaccine. Who know? I don't even when did he have, when he had it? Because I'm wondering if maybe he lived longer than he would have.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't I have no idea, but
Yeah, I wasn't sure when he was vaccinated or when he had
mhm,
his bout with COVID.
yeah,
It's very vague. We may never know. That's another thing folks are the misinformed have been saying too is like, how do we know all these people dying are is due to COVID? Like, how do we know it's not underlying things or other things? That's the crowd of people who thinks COVID is not real or that we've thought that, we've dreamed this up some kind of way.
well, Tiff, there was a story like a year ago saying that when people, something about hospitals were getting paid to say that people were dying of COVID even though they weren't. And I thought, what incentive would the hospital? I don't, it's above my pay grade. I don't understand what the benefit would be of
Yeah.
such a thing.
Yeah.
It was a story that was out there. So who knows? Who
I
knows?
mean, these conspiracy theorists are real. I remember when the school shooting happened, the Sandy Hook one where all the little kids got killed, and people
Yes.
were saying these were paid actors, and their children are still alive, and this is what the what was it, left wing has come up with to make enforce gun laws or whatever. It's like, why would somebody do that? Just why?
I
And when
do do not know.
it's time to do that, and why? Just why? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, man, do we want to move on to our other topics?
Yeah, you wanna talk about Petito and laundry?
Man, I don't know what to say. It's a very sad, very, very sad case. Gabby Petito and her fiance, who I don't think I think the stories that they think that he um, killed her. I don't,
Mhm,
like I said, I haven't been watching the news, so I don't know all the details, but um, Gabby has gotten a lot of coverage as she
mhm.
should because it's a terrible case.
Yeah,
Um, I think what we were talking about is just the disproportionate um, number of women of color and how they have gone missing and things of that nature. And
mhm,
there's just not nearly as much coverage.
yeah,
And, you know, I don't know, every person that goes missing can't have a special, right? I mean, maybe they could, I don't know, but it's
right.
just interesting how the media decides who gets the attention and who doesn't.
Yeah, and, we were gonna have a family on actually several months back there. They had a loved one that was missing, and
Mhm,
thank God she was found, but she had been missing for a few months. And I just remember them keeping it alive virtually by posting on social media all the time. There were no news outlets covering the story. There was no, national level information about her missing. It was just them keeping it pushing all the time. And, needless to say, she was an African American female, but I don't see that kind of coverage that folks like Gabby get or get when they go missing. It just does seem very lopsided. And like
mhm,
Simone said, her case was sad, is unfortunate. And I said maybe it was because she was kind of active on social media. Maybe that was why she got more coverage. But Simone said like she didn't have millions. It wasn't like she had millions.
mm-mm. Yeah, I thought she was a huge influencer, which shouldn't matter. You shouldn't have to have millions of followers or be this public figure for your missing or for your death to be deemed important.
Mhm,
But I just thought that she was like you know yeah, a huge like YouTuber or something,
mhm.
and
Yeah,
she wasn't.
yeah.
I'm not sure what it was about her case that grabbed everyone's attention. But there's growing up, if I was in the store with my mom, she'd be like, keep up with me, don't run away. She would always say, do you want to end up on a milk carton?
Mhm,
You know, and a lot of times that's what we get as women of color is you see us on the milk carton or have you seen me?
mhm,
That's it. You
mhm.
know what I mean? At the grocery store. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, because who's going to keep that going? Like,
Mhm.
what do you? what resources do you use to keep that type of case and such going for those folks? I was thinking about like not the see, Sean, you made it on Corona times.
Yes, he can take care. I don't know if he's done eating. I mean, he's asleep.
What's up, man?
You made a cameo onto the show.
Yes, we appreciate having you and little man. Bye. Y'all can be our new co-host.
Yeah.
Additions, our new additions.
Bring myself back together.
Put yourself away. As I was saying while my friend adjusts herself, is that I was thinking about like even the case of Breonna Taylor, which we try to talk about a lot because it is a local one. Had it not been for protesters going as hard as they did for so long, I'm not sure how her mother would have kept that case before us, because after a while, it's just like, where are the resources? These folks have to, she had to get back to work, I'm sure, to support her family or take care of legal costs and things of that nature. So how do you keep these things going if you don't have a sort of like CNN or other nationally recognized news station behind you to keep telling the story? And more often than not, I see, you get the few days coverage for folks of color when they go missing or when they pass away, but not so much like this long term. Like, we're still talking about Gabby, and I think his name is Brian, and I think that's just because they just found his bones, but we still are talking about that. Like,
what I was going to say also is that it's unfortunate, but I think that something that also helped to highlight and keep our focus on Breonna Taylor was the pandemic. Like, a lot of this stuff went down and people weren't working or they were at home. Mm-hmm. And so, people were out in the streets. They could be out in the streets because people weren't working or they were virtually working. And so that provided more space and time to focus on it, which is a weird thing to say, but I think it's kind of a piece of it.
True. But then I'm thinking about, what I mentioned earlier, the young lady that was missing. It happened during the pandemic. It just didn't get any. I get a lot of times I get things on Facebook or Twitter that says this person is missing, please share. I mean, there was a U of L student that went missing just a few months ago, and he was missing for like a week or whatever, and it got like a little traction. But even when they found him, I don't even think I remember seeing a news story that he was found and he was okay or anything like that. It's just, we just don't get as much coverage.
Yeah very true. So I think that's why I'm glad we have this platform and other platforms, because people are really talking about this missing white woman syndrome. Is that what it is? And just highlight, because I think there have been, I don't have the names, but because of this disproportionality, I saw a couple more stories about some cold cases that have been reopened to investigate some of these missing women of color. So, and I think maybe it sounds insensitive to say like, why are they covering her? Gabby, it's not that they shouldn't cover Gabby.
Oh,
they should, but it's just, we need the same energy for all people.
Yeah.
Go missing,
And because of these bones, because they just found old boy's remains, excuse me, they're probably going to talk about this for much longer. Yeah, because I'm trying not to reserve judgment, but he was the last person to see her. They were fighting. He probably did that. And it sounds like he might have killed himself and then probably got devoured up by whatever creatures were out there or whatever. That's just my take on this story. It just sounds too clean to me. He just goes missing and all of a sudden now he's dead. He's the only person in this case that's a suspect. Well, this is just me in my 37 years of watching Lifetime. So
toxic relation. I heard that I saw some video like earlier that day, or maybe recently before she was had gone missing or was killed, that they had been pulled up by the police, or they'd been fighting or something like that. I'm getting the sense it was a toxic relationship. And so that's a whole other show, was this preventable?
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows?
And it could have been an accident. Maybe, you know, who knows what? Maybe he didn't intend to. But when you run away like that, it makes you look like you're guilty. And you have better chances, white man. You had better chances.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
They,
So
they probably would have, if they had found him alive, they probably would have just gently took him in, got him a nice hamburger, and just talked to him about his troubles. And just be like,
exactly, he probably would have been
fine.
like, "Oh, she made me do it."
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
So yeah, that's very true. Speaking of other men who are, I don't even know how to do a segue, but we got
Other white men in the news.
terrible, tragic story of Alec Baldwin shooting one of the. I want to call her a cinematographer. That's not what she was. She was someone who worked behind the
Like a
scenes.
script editor or something like that.
No, she was in the script. She did the camera work.
I know the director got injured as well, and then the female she got injured too. And I did not. I wasn't sure what her role was, but yes, that's
She was. Let me just read it here. Oh gosh, where is it at? It's not telling me what. Oh, she's just as a filmmaker.
okay.
Um, Helena Helena Hutchins.
Hmm.
She was shot and killed with a prop gun, and then I believe it was the director. Was it the director?
Director. Hmm.
Okay, she was the cinematographer.
Okay.
So, yeah. Was also the other Joel Souza, the film's director, was injured, but he's gonna be okay.
Hmm.
Really, really bad. I know obviously he didn't mean to do that. Um, I just don't know how I would imagine he's gonna feel that guilt for the rest of his life.
Hmm. Yeah, unfortunately. Um, and I don't know. We talked about this earlier, and I was telling Simone because Simone doesn't do anything with guns. She won't touch them. She won't look at them. I got her to shoot, I think, once when we went for my birthday a few years ago. Did you shoot with us? Did you shoot with Fred? You
Was
just
that for your birthday? I did shoot with Fred one time.
hmm.
Never do it again.
So as I was telling Simone, master teacher Fred, who's been on our show a few times, he always teaches us when we're talking about weapons, just to treat every weapon as if it's loaded all the time, anytime. Um, and I know it gets tricky because when you're on a movie set, you have prop guns, you have blanks. I'm sure there's scenes where you have to point that gun at some person, but it's scary. And I've only known of this to happen a couple times in like filming that I know of anyway. I think it happened with like Bruce Lee's son and maybe like another person where they thought it was a prop gun and ended up shooting and killing someone. So I imagine that Alec Baldwin is probably very distraught. And I saw he released a statement that said he was gonna, he's already reached out to the family and he's extremely apologetic. He's participating in the investigation. And I'm sure somebody gonna lose their job. Whoever was supposed to check that before, that gun made it to set or whatever, is probably not gonna be working no more. Just
They
probably
said, from what I read, and listened to, they said that the gun had blanks in it,
not. Hmm.
but it's supposed to stay back 20 feet or something. So I don't know if they went far enough apart. I don't know what happened, but
Hmm.
it's just like the worst thing you could possibly imagine.
Hmm.
And it's not, it's just, it's make believe.
Hmm.
I was thinking about like, was this preventable? Absolutely. But this is not a real gunfight. It
Y'all
was
better Photoshop a gun in there.
they not guilty. It's not even worth it. Just don't even have no guns nowhere.
But that happens so easily. Well, that's how a lot of deaths happen in the home with guns. Is people just picking them up, waving them around, pulling the trigger, playing with them, not thinking it's loaded. That's why gun safety is extremely important, extremely important. And I don't think we'll ever be on a movie set or anything like that. But at least in my home, for those of you who own guns in your home, keep them locked up, keep them put away.
Mhm.
Um, Make sure again treat every gun as if it's loaded. Don't wave them at people by no circumstances. Do not point them at people unless you are planning to shoot them. Just don't do that. It's not good. It's not good. And the best way to be safe is to just be safe. Just continue to be safe. So I have a special place in my heart for Alec Baldwin. He's my favorite Baldwin brother. So, I definitely feel bad that he's in this predicament. I definitely feel bad for the family of that loved one, of that person who was lost. And even the one who was injured, it's just, I'm sure those people on that set that worked with them were shaken as well. So, real legit thoughts and prayers that go out to them, not the ones I give to Mitch McConnell, but the real ones, the real thoughts and prayers.
My favorite, I'm not gonna say my favorite, but one of the movies that sticks out to me from Alec Baldwin or with Alec Baldwin.
What you gonna say?
Minnie's First Time.
No, okay, never mind.
Very much a Lifetime movie.
A Time to Kill. We're just not gonna.
No, I like Minnie's First Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's done so many great things, but we're gonna. That's what we're gonna land on. But okay.
That was that. Wait a minute. No, he wasn't in A Time to Kill.
Time to Kill. Stop it.
Oh, that's Matthew McConaughey.
No, it's not Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, it is. You talking about with Samuel L. Jackson?
Huh?
With Samuel L. Jackson?
That's not Matthew McConaughey, is it?
Yes.
Okay, wrong movie.
That wasn't Baldwin.
Wrong movie.
Very good movie.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up because
Jackson looking out like his character in Django.
Oh yeah, truly. What is this movie? Now see, ma'am, now you got me on a hunt. It's an old one. He played a lawyer.
You have to tell me what it is.
I mean, now I'm just looking for it because I'm upset that I got it wrong. My bad, Alec Baldwin. I misquoted myself. So sorry. It's an old one too. Hey, what is it? Okay, I can't look it up now. He's got a million movies.
The Confession?
Nah, it wasn't a confession.
Oh. Well, all the news about him is about this incident.
Ghost of Mississippi. That's what it was. My bad. Ghost of Mississippi. It's a movie about Medgar Evers. My bad.
Okay, 1996.
Yes.
Okay.
He played an excellent part in that.
Well,
sorry, Alec Baldwin, for putting you and Matthew McConaughey, who are two very different white men.
That's a good movie too. A Time to Kill. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Man, do we want to talk about the last thing, or do we not want that smoke?
I don't think I want to touch it. How about we just say, if you haven't yet watched the Dave Chappelle special, maybe you should, and then we could have a collective conversation about it next time.
We should do that. I think because that'll give us time to choose our words.
Yes, because although we are here for a good time, not a long time, I still don't want to be canceled. So
I don't. But for those who don't know, Dave Chappelle he has a special on Netflix called The Closer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting a lot of heat for statements that were just very transphobic and offensive toward the LGBTQ plus community. And I definitely, when I watched it in 3 parts. And I definitely see where the controversy is coming from. I definitely see why he's being called to task.
Yeah. I have not watched it. I was telling Simone earlier this week, I listened to a couple of podcasts and they were doing commentary about it. So I had not heard about it yet. I had not heard about it for myself yet in person, but I've heard about it by way of other people. So as I understand it, there's a community that they feel has been focused on and centered out. So I feel like a lot of people are angry. I know there was been a walkout at Netflix about him. There's been some talk about cancel Dave Chappelle. I just don't know where I fall on that because I haven't seen the special yet. So my plan is to watch it. I do like Dave Chappelle. I think he's funny. I really have enjoyed Chappelle's show. I don't agree with everything he says 100% of the time. Some jokes he makes, I don't laugh. But I do feel like he's a bit of he's a good storyteller comedian, like Chris Rock. I think he's very similar to him, and sometimes the jokes are more thought provoking than they are like funny, haha.
Yeah,
So
yeah. He's a very intelligent man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that some of his statements or what do you call them, jokes this time didn't reflect his intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I love comics, and him and Chris Rock are two of the ones I feel like are smart people, and that when they are talking and doing their jokes, it's not just jokes; they're also trying to teach you something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he did miss the mark on this one quite a bit. But I think that you're right. If we could get, now I'm just planning out loud here, but because we're not part of the community, we're not trans, we're not part of the LGBT, we're not part of that community. And so to have people on who would not mind talking about, so we get their perspective and our perspective, and actually have a conversation that's not just us because we're on the outside looking in.
Definitely.
Impacted in the same way. But who knows?
Yeah.
We may circle back to this. We may not.
Some things I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. I just don't want to. Yes. So we may or may not talk about it again. But if you haven't watched it yet and you don't know what we're talking about, I say go watch it. I think the only way to really comment on something, be a part of the conversation, is to actually experience it for yourself. So, if you want to know what all the fuss is about, hey, go check it out or go read some articles.
I will say, if you it could be very triggering for people, especially if you identify as trans, or just a part of the community, LGBT community. You might not want to watch it. It could be, I could see why it'd be very triggering, very, very upsetting. So if you feel like you're not in a space where you can hear that, then don't watch it. Maybe, just like Tiff said, read some articles and watch videos to figure out what was said if you feel like you want to know. But
yeah,
take care of yourself, because I could see how it would really upset folks who weren't ready to hear all that.
Yes. What you should just not do is what I'm not doing right now, which is don't formulate an opinion for or against unless you have educated yourself in some kind of way on this.
Yeah,
at least know what you're arguing for or against, before you do it. With that said, let us talk about All American.
Is this the last season, right?
I don't know that. I don't know that to be true, and I'm waiting on someone from All American to tell me if it is or not.
Well, they're doing the other spinoff.
That's what it looks like, with the college thing.
They gotta graduate. They in their senior year.
Okay, well, see, here's the thing. Here's why I'm not sure where it's going, because I don't know if you ever watched One Tree Hill. So One Tree Hill was another show that started on the CW, and it was like kind of like the same thing as All American, but it follow white kids, and it was about basketball and not about football. And when it followed them from like high school all the way up until they became adults. So they went to high school, they did college, and then they did like a few years of them being adults and getting married, having kids and stuff like that. So I'm wondering, is All American just gonna stay like that and progress like that? And as it moves like to the next phase of college, where they get rid of some people, where they change the focus, the location of the shoot or whatever, or is it really gonna be like All American is ending, Super All American is beginning? I don't know.
I would follow Jordan Baker to the ends of the earth.
Oh, I would too, as well.
I would follow Jordan Baker as he graduates high school into college, even if he can't play no more. I will follow him.
Here's the thing, though. It seems like at least 3 of them are about to go to the same school. Well, I don't know, because when we left off, didn't Spencer get a scholarship to some big school?
I can't tell you.
Because they all went to the black school, and I was like, oh, maybe this is where it's going to go. They're going to go to this all black college when they leave here, and they're going to start their next section, and we maybe not have as many people from the high school version of this show. But now I don't know. They all seem to be going different places.
So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about what is his name? The one who found out he has a heart condition.
Asher.
What are we gonna do with Asher? He was like, who wrote that in and why?
Yeah.
Asher has been struggling since day one to get back on the team, to do, this and that, and now this.
But I see this
This is a
storyline.
hard stop. You
I
can
see Asher's gonna be a coach. I see it. He's gonna be a coach. He's been training them and giving them plays. I think they're setting him up to take the coach storyline. It's terrible because you're right. He's just been dealt a terrible hand. All the stuff that happened with his parents. He's been battling addictions. It's a real comeback story, and like to get to the championship and then be like, hey, so your heart.
listen. It's one more game.
I mean, he couldn't just play the championship and then find out about his heart. Like,
Right, let me just get out there and kick the ball, and I go sit down. You
yeah.
know?
Just for old time's sake, let me just catch it one more time.
But
Yeah.
yes. And then did Coop die? Some people have go on, Coop. You play Russian roulette one too many times.
I think that it's gonna be Layla because I feel like they putting too much emphasis on Coop's whether she's alive or not. There was nothing in the promo about Layla. Maybe like 1 second spent on Layla.
Isn't Layla gonna driving off into the sunset with the white girl?
But the white girl's crazy. She's gonna try to kill her.
Yes, and I need to know what's gonna happen with that. Because
Yeah.
how you in 2021, you just, I don't know where my phone is. You stop everything to
It's
find your phone. You just
fine.
gonna chill without your phone.
Right.
And the girl's like, you can use mine.
And everybody's told you the girl's dangerous. So like, why would you? I would never without my phone. So that is my theory. I feel like the promo is putting a lot on whether Coop is alive or not, but they're not saying anything about Layla. So I feel like Coop is gonna live, maybe be in a coma, and Layla might be in more danger. That's
Yeah.
my lifetime movie theory.
What, Monday at what, 8 o'clock?
Well, I'm not gonna find out till Tuesday because I don't watch it live.
I'll be watching that. Okay, it's in my calendar. I wrote it down.
I want to, but I know I'll be in meetings on Monday evening. So I will be watching it either like after that or the next day. So just don't talk to me until Wednesday. Be in
Fine.
polos, making faces and stuff, sending me emojis. Just going off.
That's normally what I do. I'd be like, wait till you see.
So we didn't put it in the notes, but there's another show that Simone and I are watching, Queen Sugar. And they're on their little short break right now, but I am really enjoying this season of Queen Sugar.
Yes.
Last season had me on a roller coaster ride because they were doing the real time COVID stuff. Well, they had gone back and done COVID stuff after we had already lived COVID stuff.
Yes.
So it was kind of weird and it was emotional. And I'm like, I'm glad they talked about it because I think some shows can't get by without it. Like, I don't think they mentioned it all in All American. They're just totally like, whoop,
Pretty much.
COVID here. But they've been talking about social justice stuff. So that's weird because it's.
We're going to just take creative license. We're going to not talk about COVID. We're going to talk about.
We just want to talk about this. So it's weird because they're talking about stuff in real time, but not really. But I thought it was good that they incorporated that. And this season, they have kind of like, it's still there, but they're kind of where we are now, which is kind of living in COVID, but moving towards a more, I guess, a more time when people can get around and stuff like that. But this season's been really good. I've enjoyed it. Lots of twists and turns.
Yeah.
I wonder where Celine has gone with Gabriel.
Listen, Celine messed up.
Celine messed up for real.
Oh, you don't do that. You don't lie. Why, girl?
she said, I wish I had me a Hollywood. Hollywood said, hold up now.
And then came forward, and it was outside. If y'all don't watch Queen Sugar, you need to watch Queen Sugar. You have to watch. It's so
good. Watch Queen Sugar. It's very good, and I love it because it's. I mean, there's white folks in the cast, but I love it that it's all Black folks in the cast in the forefront, telling Black stories. We don't have any stories really based in New Orleans that are talking about these farmers and the issues they deal with. And I'm so removed from farm life. I mean, my family goes back to roots in Mississippi, but I'm so removed from farm life that I have no idea the stuff they go through. So this has just been really enlightening too, as well, that they're telling these types of stories. And just shout out to Ava DuVernay and all of her. I think she has like an all Black female group of directors and producers and such. It's been really nice. So I don't know. My grandmother asked me if this was the last season. I was like, it better not be.
It better not be. There's so much more to do.
Yes. I need to know where Calvin's at. I need to know.
We need to know what happened to Calvin.
What happened to Calvin?
The door. He turned himself in and he's been gone. We just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that briefly, because I know I don't want to stay too long because you have babies and it's late for us. But I really liked what they have been doing with Nova this season, although I hate it because I don't like the storyline. But I mean, it's just the storyline's too intense. But I like that they're showing what happens when you kind of speak up against the police and the way they kind of target you. And this last episode, I was angry for Nova, just upset how the police came in and just flip-flopped her place and took her and threw her on the ground and just tried to scare her. Really, they had nothing on her. Tried to scare her, but it's just good. It's good.
She knew her rights and she said, "Release me," and they did.
Mm-hmm.
So
is that all it took? She's like, "Release me." He's like, Ma'am, you think it's enough?
I think that's enough. Man, we can go on to our gratitudes. What are we thankful for? What are we grateful for?
Oh, wow. Since we've been away, there have been so many new lives that have come into the world. Simone's had a baby. My brother had a little baby girl. We welcomed her into the world in September as well. And then my sister is expecting her first baby in February, and we just had her gender reveal. She's having a little boy. So I have just
February what day?
February 27th, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. But wouldn't that be nice if Caden and Khadijah's baby was born the same month, and then we have Mr. Cairo and little Kalea born in the same month? That would be awesome. Just more signs that our family is connected forever. Can't get rid of each other. But yeah, just all the little babies being born has been really nice. It's been an exciting time. Babies are the best. And while I'm not having none, I appreciate all those who do.
There's still time, man.
What did you call it? Advanced maternal age? I'm there.
We can still do this.
I'm advanced.
We're fine. You see close to 40. I'm gonna say that I am very thankful for my little Caden. He went through all the years and change of not being able to be around people, and then he's gone to school and he's doing really well. He got all A's in one bill in his report card, and so I'm very thankful for how he's thriving. And he's just an amazing kid. He's a blessing.
That boy's smart.
But we love him.
That boy is smart and he's hilarious. He's hilarious. I love talking to him. He always says like the weirdest, like it's not weird, but it's like so like far above him. Like where you come up with that?
Right. We were on the Zoom today with the Bible study group, and he said, we were talking about moving. We're asking for prayers for our transition. He said, "Yeah, this apartment." What did he say? He said, "This apartment is like," he called it like trash or something. Trash. I'm like, really? And it's because I've been saying it because we have boxes everywhere. He's repeating me. I'm like,
he listens. He listens. I remember we were having a conversation a couple weeks ago, and he was doing something else in the background, and you were telling me, I think, about being sick and being in the hospital and stuff, and you were like, and I prayed, and Kaden was like, "What was wrong?" He just out of the blue. He was talking about something else. He's like, "What was wrong, mommy? What was wrong?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you said you prayed. What was wrong?" He's always listening.
Yeah. So this was fun, man. We did it.
We did it.
Comeback show.
Yes, we're semi back from maternity leave. It's Saturday night. This will probably come out Monday. We'll try to do another one here and there when we can. But we just always appreciate y'all listening, and take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Get your boosters if you can.
Please wash your hands. Yeah. We should have been doing that anyway.
Yes. Don't stop doing that, because
people never started.
If you don't take nothing else from this time, just please continue to wash your hands.
Yes.
Extremely, extremely important. And as always, we want justice for Breonna Taylor. She still has not gotten that. It's been a little over a year, and it would be great if they could get that justice, Yeah. And until next time, we remain yours.
Remain yours.
Still, we're not going nowhere.